Chubstep.
Jrad. Cacao.
Creating the oil of judgment.
Steed.
Chub. Step.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the king of the jungle.
Hey, yo, lesson here, babe. You come at the king, you best not miss.
You excited, man?
Oh yeah.
Ready to get crunk?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
I'm ready.
Daddy wants?
Guy, you have a last name.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
And the show has started.
Hello, welcome back. We got a big one for you today. Big, huge Chubstep coming at your face.
Perfect. We got a huge guest, massive guest.
First time guest.
First time guest.
So we're going to have to give the whole backstory because we're introducing a full new character to Chubstep here.
Yeah. So he likes to be considered a person, but in our world, he's a character.
That's what all our guests are.
Yeah, that's good. Not exactly. They're not real people. We don't have to pay them if they're characters.
Damn right.
Yeah. So we're talking T-Braun, the bad boy of the Northwest. T-Braun. Yeah.
Hey guys.
Say thanks.
First of all, I'm not getting paid for this.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point.
I could give you a free membership to the cult.
Oh, you want a Church of Four Pillars membership?
I would love one.
All right. You just saved yourself $4.
Well, $4
Okay,
on
cool.
a discounted day. Sometimes it's more than that.
It's usually 12.
I'll take it. I'll
Okay.
take it.
All
That's
right.
better than nothing. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Now we
Pleasure to
work
be
that
on.
out.
It is a pyramid scheme, though, just so you know.
Oh, yikes. I've been locked into a few of those.
Okay.
They never end up well.
I did always I feel like right after high school, there's always people contacting me, or like even out of college, like people contact me trying to get them to they just clearly got it like a first job out of school, and it was always a pyramid scheme, and always tried
Oh,
to
yeah.
Or insurance.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
is basically a pyramid scheme.
Well, the life
Yeah.
insurance was at least kind of real, but like I had one guy that was trying to get me to sell healthy energy drinks to
Oh, that's
door.
a huge one.
It
Yeah.
was basically like going to gas stations and saying like, "Hey, we've got this healthy energy drink. Do you want to put this on your shelves?"
And then you recruit 3 other kids that do
Yes.
it for you.
Yeah,
Just take
nobody
their
actually
money.
ever does it. And I remember the guy showed me a video, and he was he's like, "Oh, this is the guy that runs it. He's in front of a Mercedes in this picture." I'm like, "Whoa,
Damn.
sick. I'm definitely not going to join that."
That's one of the
but cool.
top cars out there.
So anyway, he's not in a pyramid scheme. Well, now he kind of is because he's in your cult, but it's more of a doomsday simulation cult more than a
is.
pyramid scheme.
Thank you for finally getting that, Jay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Doomsday simulation.
So,
All right.
T-Braun's here. T-Braun, I'll give you people a little intro for those that don't know you. I've known T-Braun a long time. We were in a fraternity together. Delta, Michael Kai.
Still are.
Still are. Yeah, that's a good point. never ends, really.
The brothership doesn't end.
Yeah, brothership never ends. It runs
No
deep.
way out.
No way out. Only way out's in a box.
Right.
And we also, a funny thing that we used to do with T-Braun is when people, this is mostly just with my cousins, when you got to meet my cousins, we told them that you only spoke 3 words of English.
Was I a Polish exchange?
You were a
student
Polish
or
exchange
something?
student, yeah. And you only spoke 3 words of English, and they were hello, baseball, and cardboard. Which
I would go full sessions, full days of only saying 3 words in front of them.
Baseball.
And turns out it's very hard to try to get your point across using only those 3 words.
Yeah, they fell for it though for a bit.
They definitely did. They definitely did. And even though they had seen you multiple times, you had never learned new words, even though you had been in America that whole time, which was
Just not trying.
Yeah. So
yeah. We also faked Taylor's death one time.
We also faked your death one
That
time,
is
which
true.
did not go over well.
Yeah, people get pretty pissed off when you just fake somebody's death.
Which is weird.
Even on April Fool's Day.
Even on April Fool's Day.
Which is weird. It's
Yeah, I
a
don't
little
get that.
overreaction.
Yeah,
That's
I
an
don't get
overreaction.
We didn't even have a funeral. Like a funeral would have been a good extra step, but we
Yeah,
didn't even
like
do
we started inviting people. We set a date.
that. Save the date. Save the date.
Yeah.
Send these out. Yeah. So so Paul said we needed to have you on. Steed said you need to have you on because
Yep.
you guys were up late and you somehow, how did this
We
start?
got
You were
booted.
basically, yeah, you were playing video games and then somehow it got
Got
to the
banned.
point you got banned, and then all of
We
a
got
sudden
banned
you
from
were
Rocket League.
banned from okay, gotcha. You got banned from Rocket League, and then you went in a deep dive on presidential pardons.
Well, yeah. I mean, what else are you gonna do after you get banned from Rocket League?
Good point.
It was pretty lame.
Yeah, I think we hid in a closet in Call of Duty for like maybe a game.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
We're like, we just can't do this. Not good enough. Then it started, we were talking football,
Okay.
and then we
Yep.
were talking salaries of football. And
Okay.
then somehow the 49ers owner
Oh, yes.
he was like on a clickbait article, then I clicked that, and then we went from, I think he might have gotten pardoned, and then we arrived at presidential pardons.
Okay.
I think Bill Clinton may have pardoned him. No?
I think he might
Wasn't
have.
that one of his big ones? But from that, I also found out Bill Clinton in his final day in office pardoned 140 people, including his half brother, just in his last day in office.
So I think Trump was 144.
Wow. On his
So-
last day?
Most of them are on the last day.
How do you
Does that
even know
mean-
that
yeah, 'cause
many
they can't-
people? Like, you know that many people, they're just like, yeah, all these guys are good.
Yeah. I'm assuming they vetted these ahead of time and they're just like, yeah, fuck it. I'm out of here anyway.
Well,
Let them go.
so what a lot of them do is like pardon any of their friends. Essentially, like Trump's list is like a bunch of rich guys, but then it's also like, it'll be like one rich guy and then like 10 nonviolent drug offenders. So people can't be pissed.
Oh, yeah. I see. They had to do some real
Like
ones.
10 guys with weed possession.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
All right, you
yeah.
get one rich guy. It's fine. It's equal. Now.
Gotcha. There's a ratio they have to figure out. Like I could do this many ones that, just for me, and then these ones like just seem like a good thing to do.
Yeah, exactly. Trump even pardoned Lil Wayne.
Is that true? I thought I'd heard that. Yeah. So
Yep.
Trump, what did Lil Wayne get
Lil
in trouble
Wayne,
for?
he decided he was going to carry a loaded gun on a flight, and he's a felon, so he can't carry a loaded gun anywhere, but he brought one on a plane. And Trump was like, it's cool, man.
All right,
All
all
good.
right, all
It's
right.
all
Oh,
good.
good.
How did he get it on that plane? That's kind
It
of
may have been a
alarming.
private plane.
Oh,
Security's
Just
a little
one.
more relaxed. If you're gonna like try and blow a plane up, charter a jet.
You gotta have money.
Easier.
You gotta have
Way
money.
easier.
Gotta save
yeah,
up.
that's good intel.
Yeah.
That's true.
So as you're looking into, I'm assuming there's a history of this. So you've got like a long range of presidents that going back, the kind
Well-
of stuff they've pardoned. So how do you guys want to handle
Almost
this?
every president has pardoned. I think there's one president that never pardoned anyone. He was only in the office for like a year.
Yeah, he
Oh,
died.
is that maybe like
Um,
Garfield or something? Because
I think he didn't get a chance to pardon anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
it
would've.
was too early.
Garfield died like a couple months into presidency. That might have been him that didn't do it then.
Yeah,
It might have
was
been.
somebody. Did he get assassinated?
No, I think he died from like a disease.
Oh, well, it was whoever it was. I'm pretty sure they got assassinated.
Oh, he was assassinated. Yeah, 1881.
Yeah, assassinated by the flu.
Yeah.
Sneaky.
Oh,
Nice. Yeah, he,
All
was
right,
he
so-
was president from March to September, Steve, and then he got assassinated. Yeah.
yeah, I don't have
Where
a
this-
historical order. Do you have a historical order, Taylor?
No, but where this started was we looked up that list of the most controversial pardons.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I'll go through some of them that were pretty crazy. So The most controversial is Andrew Johnson pardoned a man who aided Abraham Lincoln's death.
Oh yeah.
Like one of the conspiracy guys that was in that, like with John Wilkes Booth group?
Yeah. So it was a group. It was like a group of dudes.
Yeah.
That all essentially were their first thought was they were going to kidnap Abraham Lincoln, and then they were going to, I don't know what they were going to do after that, but you kidnap the president. Yes, exactly. But I guess John Wilkes Booth went off, kind of did his own thing, assassinates Lincoln, and he hurt himself in the process of trying to escape the theater.
Yep.
And the
Jumped
first
off a
house
balcony.
that'll do it. The first house he went to is Dr. Samuel Mudd, which Samuel Mudd is the guy who got pardoned by Andrew Johnson, and apparently he fixed his foot, which was what was hurt, and then he went on from there. So obviously that's pretty controversial.
Aiding and abetting.
Did he know that? Did he know what he had just done?
I think so.
I'd be bragging.
You might just say, "Hey, I just broke my foot. Can you fix me?" You might not say, "Hey, I broke my foot because I jumped off a balcony at the Ford's Theater and shot."
How'd you break
the
it?
president.
I broke it on Lincoln's face.
I mean, they were
Kicking
conspiring together.
Oh, so he was part of the conspiracy in general.
Yes, I don't think
Okay.
I don't know. So I don't know if he knew about the assassination, but he was definitely planning on like the kidnapping part.
Got it. Okay.
He was in
like
on
a
that.
Contingency.
Yeah, he was plotting.
Yeah. There was like
a
15.
schemer.
There was a good chunk of people that were involved in that whole thing initially. And a couple of them ended up getting hung, not just John Wilkes Booth dying. But yeah, it was a bigger thing than people. He gets all the credit because he was the one that actually did it, but there was more people involved. So this guy's in jail, and he's in jail for a certain amount of time. Andrew Johnson comes in because he was the vice president for Lincoln, and he pardons.
He just gave him. Yep, he just gave him a pardon.
No biggie. Just doing your duty as a doctor.
He's a doctor. He's
Yeah,
a
he
good
fixed up.
goddamn doctor.
I guess technically, I don't know. Like, what kind of evidence can you have at that time? What year is this?
Like 1865, probably.
Yeah, like what kind of evidence do you have that you're not wiretapping at those days?
Unless he wrote it down and then kept that letter.
Oh, a diary?
John Wilkes Booth, my best friend, is coming in.
John said the funniest thing today.
Oh my god.
So yeah, that was the most controversial according to ranker.com, which is like it might as well be ranker.gov.
Yeah, no kidding. That's the
legal.
Truth. Number 2 though, this one I actually thought this one was pretty controversial. So Gerald Ford, well, I think everyone thinks this one is, but Gerald Ford pardons Richard Nixon. And this was so if you may not have remembered, Richard Nixon did some pretty controversial stuff. Watergate, probably the most notable thing that he did. So Richard Nixon, if you remember, stepped down, right? So like he wasn't actually removed from office. He stepped down himself. Yeah. Gerald Ford gets appointed president and immediately pardons Richard Nixon. So there's got to be something going on there.
This was actually the first preemptive pardon because he hadn't been actually arrested for anything or he wasn't in jail.
Oh, true.
He pardoned him for anything he might have or might not have done. Yeah. Preemptive. That was the first preemptive pardon.
Yeah, he's just like, yeah, it's probably bad. We're gonna let you off the hook. That is interesting. So I'm looking at they were both part of the same party. So like I was thinking there's no way this happens if it's somebody in the opposite party that comes in.
No.
Yeah,
no
chance of that.
Yeah.
And he probably wouldn't have stepped down right away, right? Like exactly. It sounds like he stepped down knowing that like Ford and Nixon had a deal. Like they had to know what was going down.
Yeah. It seems illegal. But I guess when you're the president, you can kind of do whatever you want.
Hey, it's in the rules.
Crazy,
you get to pardon whoever you want.
It's true. You just kind of you just have the power to just say like, nope, not serving any time.
I don't like it.
Yeah. There's not really a lot of restrictions on it, which I think is kind of wild.
I would pardon everybody.
Everybody in jail?
Just mayhem. Be
Just
nuts.
anyone
Everybody's out.
before they're gonna do anything?
I'd pardon them, but I wouldn't open the doors.
Ooh,
So you got to fight your way out of prison.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea.
cage match.
Yeah, big
Yeah.
cage match.
Nice. Okay. Well, that's a good one. So Nixon that's why he never got in major trouble. Just, I mean, obviously having to leave being president is a big thing, but like, if you know you're going to leave, you don't officially get kicked out, and then you know you're not going to get in trouble. Like,
Yeah, you're good.
Might
there's
as
no
well.
repercussions. There's no
Yeah, like,
repercussions.
I'm glad I did it.
I'm not a crook. That's what he has a line that he says that.
And I want to say this to the television audience. I made my mistakes, but in all of my years of public life, I have never profited from public service. I've earned every cent. And in all of my years of public life, I have never obstructed justice. And I think, too, that I can say that in my years of public life, that I welcome this kind of examination, because people have got to know whether or not their president is a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got.
Gerald Ford also
He's-
apparently a fantastic football player.
Really?
I think they said he could have gone professional if he wanted to.
Hmm.
Who's
I
they?
would've- I don't know. It's like,
1965 ESPN.
Yeah.
yeah, they probably were not making that much
Um,
money back then.
Yeah, he was a college football player in the 30s.
Wow.
Fun.
I could see it. He looks pretty in shape for an
Yeah.
old man in this picture I'm looking at.
Yeah.
All right.
not that happy. Keep
What's
going.
another one you got, Taylor?
So one of the next big ones was the one I mentioned earlier. Bill Clinton pardons his own brother. So it's his
Oh, yeah.
half brother. Turns out he was convicted of cocaine possession and drug trafficking. And later, after he was pardoned, he was arrested on 2 separate occasions for DUIs. So he seems like
Great.
a pretty stand-up guy.
And you know what the thing is? It's like, if he's getting arrested twice for DUI, how many times was he drinking and driving prior to
And
that?
not, yeah.
Yeah, it didn't get
Oh
caught.
man, yeah, especially when you get the "My brother's the president" card
Yes.
to pull.
Yeah.
Man,
How-
so that brings a good point. If you have a family member who's a president, in the last year of their office, just go nuts. You can rob as
Oh,
many
yeah.
banks as you want. You can kill people. Just sell as many drugs as you want. Trade arms, illegal arm trading. Do whatever. You're getting pardoned.
I'm kind of thinking like that's like one of the major perks. Like, I don't even want to run for president. I just want to have V-Dog, my brother, run for president.
Yep.
And then I'm just going to have a great thing,
You can
amazing
have a
list of
sick,
things to
like,
do.
1 year of
Yeah.
your life is going to
1
be
year and
nuts.
record it all.
Oh yeah.
But then it doesn't matter if it's recorded because he's just going to pardon me after.
You know what? We should make that a movie. That's our big movie idea right there.
The Pardon. That's the name of the movie.
Pardon me.
Pardon me. I like that idea, Steve. We'll get AI to write it. Okay. What's another?
I'll have ChatGPT do it right now.
What's up? You got some other ones here?
Yeah, let me give you the craziest one. Okay,
Okay.
so this has only happened one time, right?
Okay.
So there's only been one occasion where a pardon was granted. I think that's the word. I'm going to go with granted. And the person who was being pardoned denied the pardon.
Mm.
And so in 1833, Andrew Jackson pardons George Wilson, who was convicted of what is called robbing the mail. So
From the mail.
I want to figure out what that is. This is 1829 when this happens, right? What are you
Okay.
stealing from the man? Like letters to war veteran? Like people, like what were people mailing at that time that you were robbing?
They were mailing. Well, they were mailing money.
Yeah, because you got to think
Were
there's no
they? Okay.
ACHs at this point. It's all going to be checks and
You got-
stuff.
There's no Bitcoin.
There's no Bitcoin.
There was
Imagine a world.
Ethereum. They had Ethereum, but they didn't have Bitcoin.
Okay.
Yeah, but Ethereum
makes
was
sense.
worthless, so you would have to carry.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes
Like,
sense.
yeah, the horses couldn't do it.
So, anyways, I mean, so this guy declines it, right? He was so mind you, he was convicted and given the death sentence.
Wow. So he must have killed somebody within this. Well, they were probably
No,
going to charge for murder. He literally just robbed.
He was sentenced for endangering a life, not
Yes.
murder.
I didn't even know they could do a death sentence for when somebody doesn't die.
In 1829.
Yeah, you're right. They did whatever they wanted.
It's the mail.
Yeah, that's a good
You're
point. If that comes back in my envelope is unsealed, you dead.
But anyway, so that's the first time anyone ever refused a pardon. So they had to loop in. That's what they called it at the time. They had to loop in the Supreme Court, who were asked to rule on the case. And this is where they came up with the decision that a pardon is technically a deed, and the validity of which. Okay, so sorry, I'm reading this completely wrong. A pardon is a deed to the validity of which delivery is essential, and delivery is not complete without acceptance.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of like when you serve somebody papers, if they never get it, then they're not served. Yeah.
Kind of like the mail that he
Bingo.
robbed.
It all comes full circle. And so recently, this came up kind of recently because I don't know if you remember Michael Cohen, Trump's was a lawyer, I think, something, worked with Trump, but essentially he was being questioned in court, and he said that he wouldn't even accept a pardon from Trump if it was offered. And so this story came back up after that as the only time someone said that they didn't accept a pardon was this guy who had the death sentence coming to him for robbing the mail and said, you know what, I deserve it.
Did they have more details on this guy? Like, what did he get from robbing the mail? Did he end up getting anything good?
Well, he went to jail.
I know. Yeah, that seems worth. Maybe he wanted jail. Like, he seems like he just kind of liked being there.
So I looked this up a little bit more. It's hard to find it. So apparently in 1829, the internet was not quite yet a thing. So the documentation is not great.
Yeah, because you had to write that stuff down.
Yeah.
And 90% of those hillbillies probably couldn't read.
Yeah. Okay. So what I read though is that he basically kind of got caught up with the wrong group of people.
Okay.
And he was kind of forced into this robbery with another group of people. And he went to jail and kind of felt bad about it and became, how would you say, more religious.
Yeah.
And I think part of his refusal, what it sounds like, is that he felt he deserved whatever was coming to him to pay his dues for this crime.
I feel like Jesus intervened pretty hard getting that pardon from Andrew Jackson. I would have taken that as a sign.
Christianity's, dude.
Okay, well then Muhammad did. Or
I was assuming
Gandhi.
Hindu. Yeah, I was.
Okay.
George Wilson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
1829 train robber George Wilson. Big Gandhi fan.
Yeah, Gandhi is. Love what Gandhi is the religious figure for the Hindus for you.
Is he? But, I don't know who Gandhi is. Who's Gandhi? I'll look it up. I'm gonna find out who Gandhi is, so you guys don't have to.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So interesting.
He is the Buddhist guy.
He's not. Okay. Okay. Anyway, so Taylor, it's just interesting that he chose you would have thought that he would have gotten out and then become a religious leader, not been I'm just gonna sacrifice myself for some mail.
That's
what you'd think, right?
Yeah. And I really just would have liked to see what the mail contained. That it wasn't worth it.
That's I can't imagine it was worth it, but I don't know. I mean, if people are mailing all kinds of money at that time.
Well, yeah, that was we did this true crime episode a couple of weeks ago, and the guys, killed and robbed a bunch of places and they got $1,800.
Yeah.
So we were that's not worth it.
And
but $1,800 back in the day.
I mean, that was in 1993. So you're right. That
Yeah.
Let's see what that is.
Yeah, what's the
Yeah.
conversion?
It's
figure that out.
big. It's
Inflation
really
was
big.
bad
That's about
last year.
$3,800 now.
Yeah, you could buy like a Honda Accord.
Okay.
You could buy
Used.
like
A
you could buy like a
1993
1993 Honda. Today you could buy a 1993 Honda Accord.
If you saved up.
If you saved it, yeah. Perfect. Okay. So that's an interesting one, Taylor, just to deny it. So that's obviously the only one like that. Were there other ones that stood out to you as interesting?
Let's see here. So Ulysses S. Grant pardoned all members of the Confederacy.
Oh,
Eek.
interesting. Interesting.
Eek.
Yeah, so this was so essentially the stipulation was that they had to take an oath that they would defend the Constitution of the United States and accept or defend the Emancipation Proclamation.
Gotcha.
Basically, it said we're on board.
Yeah, we're not gonna
And then you gotta pardon.
secede type of thing. We're not
Yeah.
gonna take
Yes.
prosecution, but we're not.
I'm
gonna
wondering
re-secede.
if they were like, no, I'm going to go back to my farm. Like Lincoln was going to ride on his horse and kill him.
Well, Lincoln
he's
was
gonna-
dead by this point. If Ulysses S. Grant
Yeah.
was
It was
the
actually Andrew Johnson,
that did
the
what?
guy right after Lincoln.
He was the
that
one
did
that pardoned all the Confederacy.
Yeah. Sorry,
You
Taylor.
tell me
Wow,
ranker.gov?
we gotta get our fact checkers on this. Who was it? Which one was it?
I don't know.
Taylor?
This
Taylor, I'm never wrong.
I'm looking right now. It says Ulysses S. Grant
Are
effectively
you on Ranker
pardoned-
still?
Yeah.
Hang on.
.gov. uh, I think they both kind of did something along the similar lines. Steve.
I'm going to
So-
get put on a white supremacist.
It wouldn't
pardon
shock-
the Confederates.
Both wouldn't shock me. Andrew Johnson was kind of a Southern
Lincoln and Andrew
sympathist.
Jackson. Andrew Johnson.
That was they made him Lincoln's vice president because they figured when the Union won the Civil War, they wanted a guy that kind of the Southern people liked to be the vice president, so it wasn't like they hated everybody that was in the presidency. But they didn't expect Lincoln to die and then this guy to take over who loves the South and like is like
That makes
everything's
sense.
cool down there, anything's good. So that's why he didn't get elected.
All right,
Andrew Johnson,
boys.
when he ran again, Ulysses S. Grant won.
He pardons him and goes, all right, defend the Union. Wink.
Yeah.
Wink.
Yeah. So that's why it wouldn't shock me if Andrew Johnson did it. I mean, Ulysses S. Grant was also kind of the guy that was in charge. He was basically trying to bring the Union back into, or the Confederacy back into the Union, right? He won the war, and then his presidency was all about like, how do we make everybody one
Boys
back together
again.
So
Yeah, give him iPhones.
you have a
Doesn't-
iPhones, and that's what did it. Yep.
Isn't Ulysses S. Grant? Doesn't he have a house in Illinois? I feel like I
Yeah,
went
he
to this once.
in Galena,
Yes.
Galena, Illinois. Yep.
Hoity
That's
toity.
kind of
Oh,
where
it's
he.
a nice house.
It's a
Yeah.
very nice house. He has a
That
stripper
is-
pole in the kitchen. That's how I
nice.
remember it. They could have changed it since last time I was there. Maybe they got rid of that. But when I was there, that definitely was there.
Yeah, I could see it. I'm looking through it now, and the kitchen has a one of those old like furnace heaters, but it has a pole that's going all the way up to the roof. So I think it was used for both.
Yeah. I think that's what I was talking about. Yeah, the kind of exhaust. Some people saw it as like
Yeah.
kind of an exhaust tube for the furnace, but I think it could have
But
been
you-
definitely a stripper pole.
It's
It's just
It
like they were
seems
thicker
sturdy.
back in the day. They changed things with the time and things like that. You just oil it up, it's fine.
That's true.
Okay, so these are some good presidential pardons. Any other ones, T? I like these so far.
I mean, there's all kinds, man, but these are probably the main ones that I.
Okay.
Okay, hold on, wait. Carter pardoned all draft dodgers on his first day. So anyone who just went to Canada and said, "I don't want to be in the Vietnam War,"
Yeah.
you're good.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
So apparently, like
He
the key
he,
is just
he also Jimmy Carter pardoned the guy from Peter, Paul and Mary hit music group in the 80s. Peter, he was arrested of behaving indecently with a 14-year-old,
Oh,
and
God.
Carter pardoned him.
Carter sounds like a weird guy.
I don't know
Yeah,
about
he does
Carter.
sound like a weird guy. I was listening to this British podcast talk about Carter, and they said almost nobody thinks that Carter was a good president. You're gonna ask like they just randomly threw that out there. I can't remember what they were talking about, but it was just kind of pretty unanimous that he just did not do a great job as president. But I mean, doing something like letting off a potential pedophile at a party, that seems like a great move.
He's still alive. He's 98. Jimmy Carter.
Old Carter? You don't hear much about him anymore.
No. What's he doing these
Staying
days?
out of the limelight.
Right.
Finally.
Doing peanut stuff.
Man.
Yeah, so it's the pardon thing is just such a crazy rule, and I'm very curious to see. Now my biggest thing I think going forward is going to see who's on the pardon list every year.
It's fun. Me and Taylor read through like almost all of Trump's.
Yeah.
Well, but at some point it's just like it was literally just like rich guy, nonviolent drug crime,
Tax evasion, yeah, stuff like that.
Tax evasion also was Trump's advisor.
Yeah,
nonviolent drugs.
Yeah,
there's a pattern for sure.
Yeah, you get a couple.
And the last year is good. Last year of a term is great.
Yeah,
that's where you get the hot ones. Yeah,
so they'll do some ones throughout, but probably not the controversial ones until the very end, where they're like, "What are you going to do? Fire me? I'm already leaving."
Yeah, I'm leaving tomorrow.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, thank you, Taylor. That was really good stuff.
You got it.
Yeah,
just thought the people should know. This is the only podcast that's ever talked about pardons. I've been calling around looking for someone to talk about this.
We listen to our listeners, and people know that.
We get emailed all the time from our oh god, we did just lose our whole India listener base, Jared.
Why is that?
With that Gandhi flub.
That you didn't know who Gandhi was? I was.
Yeah, now I looked it up. I was off. I remember who Gandhi is now.
You're pretty off on that.
I was, yeah. So I apologize.
Okay.
I got mistaken.
Yeah, that's okay.
Easy mistake to make, and I'm sorry.
That's fair. Taylor, is there other things you would like to talk to Chubstep about?
Where'd you get that hat, Jay?
This is my Jagging Off hat, Jacksonville Jags. Duval.
That's all I wanted to hear.
Yeah,
that was about it.
Yeah, I got this. Yeah, people that's on YouTube, check this out. My Jags hat. But this was a hat that we went to a little concession stand, or not concession stand.
A concession stand.
Hat stand.
Sodas, hats.
And I was there with our lawyer Face, and he said, "Oh, that's a cool hat over there." And then I asked the guy how much the hat was, and he's like, "I don't know, $15, probably like $500." And I'm like, "Give me that hat. I'll take that hat." So I paid for it.
I don't know, $15.
Yeah, $15. So I'm like, "I'll give you 15." He's like, "Okay." And so I took it for 15, and then he's like, "Oh, sweet, I want one too." And then the guy's like, "That was their only one."
Oh,
wow!
So he technically found the hat. I made the move and purchased the hat, and then he was upset because the whole time people kept saying they liked the hat at the game. And
you go, better luck next year, buddy.
Yeah, that's right. So it's my Chubstep hat now.
You gotta get some decent cheers in here, man. What's this shit made out of, anyway? Steel? Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you should get it welded better in the corners.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you guys something. Is it ever possible to look cool while running with a backpack on?
So,
like, I was trying to think the coolest guy. Steve, who's the coolest guy to use that's a celebrity?
I was just gonna say me.
Okay, how about a celebrity? Non-Chubstep celebrity.
Oh man, the coolest non-Chubstep celebrity. Thinking like buff dudes. I'm thinking like
Jean-Claude Van Damme that you love?
Thinking like yoked, shirtless Zac Efron.
Okay.
I'm gonna look it up. Zac Efron shirtless backpack.
What about that movie 21 Jump Street? Doesn't he make wearing a backpack look cool? What's that guy's name?
He two straps it. Jonah Hill.
Yeah, they talk. That's what they do, the one strap, two strap thing. That's very funny
Yeah.
saying. But I'm not saying you can't wear a backpack and look cool. But I'm just saying if you're running late and you got to like if you're running somewhere with a backpack on.
I mean, it's got to be tight.
That's what I was thinking. It has to be. It can't be bobbing.
But that's the thing. Sometimes you can do the straps tight, but the stuff inside is going to be loose.
You need the waist. You need the waist holder, but that makes it uncool, kind of.
Then that's already uncool. And you're right. If you have it loose, then it's going to be jumping up and back. And if you have it too loose and you try to tighten it with like your hands, this is so much worse running like this. You're doing that. So you'd have to, you have to do the straps really tight.
I feel like Tom Cruise could pull this off.
I can see it. I feel like he probably has. Someone's got to do it. There's got to be a competition. You make this a competition. People, you could put this on like ESPN 8.
This could be part of X Games, or I was thinking, one of those the heavy those heavy man competitions where they just like throw the rock over the wall. I would like one where they just keep adding more weight to the backpack and they have to run.
And then someone judges them.
And someone judges them if it looks cool or not. So part of it is how much weight did you carry? Part of it is how cool did you look, and that's what is judged on. Steve, you're muted if you didn't know that.
Son of a bitch. I cleared my throat like I don't know how long ago.
Not that long ago. We heard you recently.
Oh well, whatever. I'll mute myself again.
Okay. Well, what about Tom Cruise or Zac Efron shirtless running with the backpack on? Do you find this?
I got a lot of good Zac Efron shirtless pics. Some with a backpack, and I think so. Here's my idea. Maybe some type of satchel coordination, like an unorthodox backpack.
Okay.
Because sometimes, like, you need a backpack.
Yeah.
Like in my army days, we'd have a backpack on sometimes because you got to carry stuff.
Sure.
And I mean, I probably look pretty cool running with the backpack and like, my gun.
Yeah.
And like, I'm sweaty and stuff, and I'm like going to fight the Germans.
Yeah, what year was this?
They really misled you at this.
It's always legal. It's always legal to fight the Germans because of what they did.
Yeah. Good point.
Never forget.
I mean, that sounds cool.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you're right. In army, you can do it when you're fighting Germans. Makes sense. Zac Efron could do it if things are very tight or if it's some sort of satchel situation.
Yeah,
it's tight enough.
Yeah, and you can't have a lot in there. Maybe just like a folder with like some important documents in it. Like a thick folder, though.
But if you're trying to actually do like a heavy backpack where you got all the stuff in there, you're kind of screwed. No matter what, right?
I mean, you'd have to load. It's all about load plan at that point. You got to load it up right.
Load management.
Heavy stuff on the bottom.
Yeah.
Light
There's got to be
top.
a way to do it. But Jay, you're right. If you're just going into it without trying, you're gonna look preposterous.
I just feel like I got burned recently, and I didn't want other people to end up in a similar situation.
Ooh,
that's fair.
Yeah,
looking out for everyone else.
Yeah, so you're welcome, people.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, well, thank you, Taylor. Thank you, T-Braun.
Do we have time for a quick Tanzania news? Very quick.
Taylor, do you have time for that?
4 minutes.
Okay.
4 minutes, yep.
Taylor loves Tanzania. Let's hear Tanzania news.
The infection causes immediate respiratory failure, and scientists claim that mutations may now transmit.
You know what Fugazi is? Fugazi. It's a fake. Yeah, Fugazi, Fugazi. It's a wazi. It's a woozy. It's a fairy dust.
What are you, from Tanzania?
Yes, I am.
All right, Tanzania news. This is big news in Tanzania. Huge news. Breaking. It's all over MSN, Tuco. 60-year-old woman is marrying a 27-year-old man.
Wow.
All right.
And
Cougar.
And she is ready to start a family. And she has been vehemently denying rumors of her husband having a baby mama or a child. That's a quote.
So
from the news in
her
Tanzania.
new husband, she doesn't want to say he's not sleeping with anybody else. So he's only sleeping with her.
She is sure of it.
So this is news because she's so old, and that because she also wants to start a family.
Yes. And yeah. Whoa, come on.
Yeah, no, I know. I just want to make sure I wasn't missing anything. So what I'm curious what these people look like. Do you have a picture of them?
Yeah, I do.
Let me give you permission here to share your screen.
Bingo. All right, are we live?
Okay. Interesting.
So she doesn't look a day over 65, 70.
No, she doesn't at all.
Yeah.
I don't know about this story.
And she does have money.
Shocking.
She's loaded.
Okay.
Tanzania loaded.
Tanzania loaded. What's the second one?
What?
What's your search bar up, your tab bar up there, Steve?
What? What?
I can't even repeat that. Anyway,
I didn't see anything.
Anywho,
So
this lady, she didn't look. I mean, she's not terrible looking for her age. The guy, he looked like the second picture of him. They were sitting on a bench press. It looked like.
Yeah, he's benching. He's putting up at least 60 pounds.
I was gonna say, it did not seem like a lot of weight. It did not seem like a lot of weight. And for some reason, this picture was taken on a bench press. Which, I mean, I have a lot of pictures of my wife on a bench press, but they're just not as public as these. Interesting.
Yeah,
I mean, usually when you hear this kind of stuff, you assume the guy's just in it for the money, which is
no. He said that his heart has been broken by city girls. Let me get the direct quote.
City girls are the worst, though. We know that.
He's been heartbroken by city girls before settling for the 60-year-old who showered him with love and care. He chose her because of her charismatic qualities like kindness, and then he proposed.
It's just kindness.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
enough. Those city girls aren't kind.
No,
they called her
too fast
something.
And
mean. The sexagerian. They call her a sexagerian.
Yeah, for like 60. So
is that that's what that means?
I'm assuming, or you think it's like she's a sex maniac or something?
It's someone who's 60 to 69. That's what I thought. I was like, sexagerian. She's a sex witch or a sex doctor or something. That's what I thought.
So is she from the countryside or something? Why does he's bashing the city girls?
I guess she's out in the country a little ways.
Okay. Yeah,
a widower herself.
I'm happy for them. The thing is, though, if this guy is actually in this just for the money, like she's only 60, it could be a long time. If he's like, if his plan is that she passes away and he gets their money, like that could be a long time.
It could be.
What's the life expectancy?
In Tanzania, she is probably past it, unfortunately.
Really?
Yes.
66.
It's 66.
Yeah.
So she's what? So wait, she's 69, did you
60.
say? Oh, she's 60.
60.
Okay. Well, he's ready to
6
start a family.
years. And you know what? There's already rumors that he has a baby mama.
No wonder this
they're
is
even
big
married.
news.
I know, this is big controversial stuff. I didn't want to talk about the what was it? Clove prices went up. Clove and beer prices.
We don't want to depress the listeners.
Clove prices going up is good. Beer prices going up, bad.
Well, I don't want clove to go up.
No, well, they're selling the cloves. They're the ones selling it.
Yeah, but I got to buy the clove.
Hey, man, I'm not here to talk about
feed.
you. I'm talking about the Tanzanian listener, which we have 4 of.
Yeah, which we found a way 4 of. Which we still have not got any feedback from people that listen in Tanzania. Please email the show and tell us why. Other reasons this woman might be a catch other than her money. Again, she's not bad looking. And maybe he's into older women. We don't know the difference.
I disagree.
You don't think you think she's bad looking?
I think so.
Well, she's not great. But
I think she could have put on a little bit more makeup for the wedding.
I would. Yeah.
She could have smiled at least. I don't know.
Maybe she's
smiling.
Yeah, maybe she's not at it. Maybe the caterer messed up that day and she couldn't get it out of her mind.
ruined her wedding.
Her wedding day is stressful.
It is stressful. Very stressful.
That's true.
All right. Well, there we go. Thank you, T-Braun. First time on the
Thanks,
show.
guys.
Thank you. And a very informative episode.
I learned a lot.
Yep.
I
That's what I'm
learned a
here
lot.
for.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Well,
Thanks, guys.
All right, the show has ended.
All right.
New episodes every Thursday. Show's ended. Be gone.
Now you know you got to go.
Bye.
Peace. This is Yasin.